This is part 3. If you haven't seen part 2 or 1, check that description or click the face right here. This is part 3. Let's get it. Part 3 of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Venom 2-Man story. Yeah. Then he hears some da 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 da. And that's his ringtone. Yeah, I went there. That's the Easter egg. That's an Easter egg. His ringtone is the Spider-Man 3 black suit music with Tobey Maguire's famous. Anyway, so Peter, he rubs his eyes, he picks up his phone, he's like, hello, he's groggy, just waking up from that terrible, terrifying dream, or whatever you want to call it, that eye-opening dream, whatever. He answers the phone, hello? It's Jonah Jameson. He's, Peter Parker. He's like, yeah? He said, oh, how are you? How are you doing? How are you? And Peter's like, he's kind of weirded out. He's on the phone. He's like, I'm all right, Mr. Jameson. He's like, that's good. That's good. What are you doing right now? So I just woke up. Oh, really? You just woke up? Yeah. Can I ask why you're calling me? What's going on? Oh, no reason. I just wanted to know I was firing you. What? Why are you firing me? What did I do? No, I just wanted to realize, you know, and you can go back to sleep. Mr. Jameson, why are you firing me? Oh, you know, it's just some huge police chase happening, and my photographer he's sleeping on the job. It doesn't matter. Eddie can take care of it. You know, Brock will get it. You go back to sleep and find a new job too. Mr. Jameson, I'm sorry. I'm right on it, sir. I'm right on it. And he hangs up. He gets up and he goes into his bathroom to just put some water on his face, and he puts the water on his face, and then he looks over, and he's like, okay, there's a police chase going on, I need to go down there, you need to give me some pictures, you need to be Spider-Man, alright? So he goes into his closet, Spider-Man suit's not there, then he goes, he walks back into the bathroom, and then he walks past, and he's wearing a suit, and he's like, and it's like the new Spider-Man 2 suit. He's like, whoa, where is this? What is this? This is cool. Even like new web shooters and everything. So it's the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. It's the symbiote, because the symbiote can form anything, right? And he's like, nah, I can dig this. This looks nice. Yeah. So then he jumps on out, and he web swings, and he swings. So now we cut to Max Dillon. All right, Max Dillon. We see an apartment. The apartment's kind of distraught. It's kind of, you know, freaky, crazy. And Max Dillon he's laying in his bed, and his alarm goes off, and it's the Spider-Man theme song. On his wall is like a whole bunch of Spider-Man posters, and he goes and he brushes his teeth. He's brushing his teeth to the Spider-Man theme song, and he's feeling pretty good. He's all right. It's his birthday. He's like, thank you. He sees the Spider-Man poster while he's brushing his teeth to the Spider-Man theme song. He's like, yeah, it's my birthday, Spider-Man. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. And he's all brushing his teeth, and he's like, he's feeling all right, you know. And he looks at his phone, and it's no calls or anything. It's like about 10 a.m. He needs to be at work by like 11, 12. So he's good. He's ready. And then he's ready to go. He's all dressed, and he's like, he's about to leave, and then he's like, wait a minute. My work. I forgot about my work. He's all happy and stuff. And then he's looking. He goes to his desk. It's all messy, a messy desk. And he's push stuff off, and he can't find his work. So he starts freaking out. He's like, where's my work at? I need to find my work. He's looking around for his work. He's like, this isn't my work. This isn't my work. And then we do this little montage with him. It's like fast and running around the room looking for the work. And we see the clock. The clock is going like that. And it's going, and it's going, and it's going. And now it's 11:30. And he needs to be there by 12. And he's like, what is going on? Where's my work? Where's my work? And then he looks over at his bed and his work. He grabs it quickly, and he is out the door. He is running. He is freaking, I gotta get there. I'm gonna be late. I got a presentation today. Whew. He's running. He gets on the subway, and he's just running. He's in a rush, okay? So he's on the subway. All right. Cut Spider-Man. Spider-Man web swinging, swing, you know, and then he gets to the police chase. He sees a whole bunch of police officers, and he lands on the car. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Officer, police officer, sir? He's like, Spider-Man, what are you doing? There's this crazy madman on the loose, and he's going down, driving in this huge truck. He's just destroying everything, and it's crazy. He took something apparently from Oscorp. The Oscorp, they called, it's crazy. And he's like, okay, no problem then. And then he jumps off the car. We see him leaping from car to car at this high-speed chase. A whole bunch of police cars. Spider-Man is leaping from car to car to car, doing a whole bunch of stuff. Then is this police truck. He just gets on it. He's hanging on, and he jumps off of that. And then he sees the big truck in the front leading. Spider-Man leaps on to the truck, and he's like, "Excuse me, sir, but you're going too fast. I'm gonna have to ask you to pull over." And there's Paul Giamatti, it's the Rhino, you know, Aleksei, and he's looking at him. He's like, "What are you doing, you bug? Get up, you stupid!" Yeah, he's trying to get him off, and Spider-Man's all up like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And then Aleksei turns, and he hits this not a school bus, but a bus. He like smashes the side of a bus, and the bus goes like shoom, and the people are in the bus, and they're like, "Whoa, ah!" There's people in the bus, and then whoa! And then Spider-Man jumps off of that truck, and he goes over to the bus, and he webs the side of it, and then it's not working, so then he flips over, and it's this family, this Asian family, and they're like, "Oh my God." And they're standing there, and the bus is about to go over, and Spider-Man jumps on it, and then we see that thing when he's like stopping the bus, and he's like, "No, he's not gonna hit him," and he stops it. And then, meanwhile, while that's happening, the truck is going, and the police are coming after him, and now some other cars come out, and they have Oscorp on the side, they've been stolen, and then it is mobsters. They have assault rifles. They are on the back of the trucks shooting at the police officers. Police cars rocketing, like people getting shot in the police cars, and then spinning out, causing big crashes. And then it's crazy. And Spider-Man, after he's done with the bus, he runs over, he jumps, he's swinging, gets to the truck driver, right? Gets to the trucks with the assault rifles and all them, and he webs them up, and he webs up the wheel, spinning the car out, spinning the truck out, and then the truck stops. They kick out the back, and they're shooting at the police officers, and then Spider-Man webs them all. He puts them, and they're webbed up. Now, all that's left is this guy driving this truck, this madman. The Daily Bugle helicopter is following. Meanwhile, Spider-Man webs when he looks up there, and he sees that it's Eddie Brock. He's in the helicopter. Anyway, so he keeps webbing, he's web swinging, then he gets to the truck. And Aleksei sees him on the truck. He's like, "I told you to stop." And Aleksei is like, "I will kill you." I can't do an accent like that. Meanwhile, Dillon gets off the subway. He gets all off. He's running to get to Oscorp on time. He looks at his clock. It says 12 o'clock. He is late. He is running. He darts across the street. Here comes this truck coming at him. It's coming. He's looking like, and now he's completely like, "This is it. I'm going to die." And Spider-Man, out of nowhere, saves him. He saves him. And then he does the whole thing with the wiping his hand. He's like, "Are you all right, Max?" He was like, "How do you know my name? I'm a nobody." He's like, "Your name tag is right there, and you're not a nobody." And he helps him out, picks up his stuff, then he goes back. Spider-Man punches the windshield. He punches the windshield, and his hand goes to the windshield, and he grabs Aleksei by his collar and pulls him up to the windshield. And Aleksei slams on the brakes, and he hits his head on his steering wheel. And Spider-Man releases. It's like, "Oh!" And then the truck turns, and it turns into this alleyway. And Spider-Man jumps off, and Aleksei gets out, and he's angry. He is pissed, and he pulls out that assault rifle, because they are assault rifles. He's like, "You will die. I'm tired." What is that accent? He's like, "I'm sorry. You will die." What's a Russian accent? you will die. I'm tired of you, basically. Essentially what he's saying. He's all mad. His face is super red. Spider-Man looks at him, and he jumps. And he does that thing we see in the trailer. And Alekse's shooting at him. Spider-Man kicks him in the face. He kicks him right in that chin. And Aleksei goes, oh! And he falls down. He's like, nah, buddy. I'm gonna have to ask you, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be shooting, and you're not supposed to be freaking doing all this. Sir, excuse me, okay? Listen, this isn't cool. And then Spider-Man, he has a phone on him, and he hears it's like ringing. Now he's like, excuse me for a minute, and he webs Alekse's feet to the ground. Now Aleksei is like, he's like down like that, and his feet are like right next to each other, and he's down. So excuse me for a minute. He pulls out his phone, and he's like, yeah, and it's like basically in the mask and everything because of the symbiote. So he's like, yeah, what's going on? He's like, hello, and it's Gwen. She's like, yeah, Peter, I just was calling you about a date tonight. He's like, a date? Sure, I'd love it. Sure, where at? He's like, in Chinatown somewhere. He's like, okay, yeah, that's fun. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. She's like, I love you. He's like, I love you too. All right. And then hang up. And then while he's on the phone, though, Aleksei is getting up, like rustling himself up. And he is angry, and his feet are still together. And then and Spider-Man turns around, and he's like, what are you after? And then he's like, you'll never know, or something like that. And then he's like, and Spider-Man looks over, and it's like in his back pocket is like this valve or something. Spider-Man's like, and he grabs it, and then Alekse's like, rah! I am going to kill you, I swear. And then Spider-Man is like, okay. And he's like, I swear I will kill you. You will not be able to live anymore in this town. I will kill. And Spider-Man webs his pants down. He says, all right. Peace, man. Peace. Yeah, and then he turns around, he does a little funny dance or whatever, supposed to be funny, and then he gives the valve to the police officers, and that's cool. So now, Max Dillon, he's like, Spider-Man just saved my life. So we already could get the idea that he would loved Spider-Man, but now with him meeting Spider-Man, it's like, dude, Spider-Man, I love this dude. He already loved him, but now it's like bigger than that. It's bigger. Max Dillon, he runs into Oscorp. And we see Gwen, and she is hanging up the phone, and she's on the elevator, and he's like, hold that elevator, hold that elevator, hold that elevator. And she just got off the phone with Peter. That's why she hung up. And she holds it, and he gets it, and he's like, oh man, he looks at her, and she's like, hi. And he's like, hi. Oh man, this morning was great. I met Spider-Man. He's a cool guy. He saved my life. He's so freaking awesome, right? She's like, yeah, he is pretty cool. He's like, yeah. And he's kind of weird or whatever. So then he get off the elevator. Gwen goes this way. He goes that way. He is going to his cubicle, and he gets his stuff, and then when he's in the midst of getting his stuff, he hears somebody say something. They say something. And we don't hear it. And he's like, what? And there's people walking. And he's like, what'd you say? And they look back. And it's two people. We don't know who they are. Did you guys say something about an hydroelectric field or something? What did you guys say? And they look at him. And they're like, nah, man. No, we didn't. No. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And he grabs his stuff, and then he goes to this office where he's supposed to have a meeting. So when we get a look at the stuff, it's like schematics for like a hydroelectric field and stuff. And yeah, it's pretty dang nifty. And he's going to the place, and as soon as he knocks on the thing, like knocks on the door, somebody comes over to the side and like, hey, what's going on, Max? Oh, I had a presentation. He's like, you had a presentation? He's like, yeah. When was your presentation for? It was 12 o'clock. He's like, Max, it's 12:15. Yeah, I know. I had this thing happen. Did you hear about? It was some crazy truck almost hit me, man. He was like, oh, well, there's already someone else in there right now. He's like, really? Who? And he's like, that doesn't matter. He's like, really? Somebody else is already in there? Yeah, they're presenting. Sorry, man. It's like, oh, well, maybe I'll just get it next. Maybe I'll get it next. All right. So then he sits down and he's there and he's waiting. And then, then it's like the clock, we see this clock like going by, kind of reminiscent of when he was looking for his work in his house. We see this like kind of montage of the clock going by and him sitting there, and then the doors open and some people in suits come out. He's like, and they shake hands, and he's like, thank you very much. And then he's like, excuse me, sir, excuse me. And he says, Mr. Minkin, excuse me. He says, oh, hi, Max. And he's like, Mr. Minkin, I'm sorry that I was late. I had this whole crazy traffic situation, and I want to know if I could present now. He's like, you know, I understand what you're saying with the traffic situation, but you know, you can't be late. He's like, I understand, Mr. Minkin. I've been working here for 10 years. I'm good, okay? I'm sorry, sir, but it won't happen again. Please, I have this amazing proposal for you. It's amazing. Please. He's like, okay, sure, but I don't think the board members, they're going off to lunch. So how about you do it today, like at 1 o'clock? All right. Well, then you can have your presentation then. So then we have Max Dillon. He goes to his desk and he puts down his stuff and he gets up and he leaves and he's feeling all right. You see, his face is not like when he first woke up when he was smiling and dancing and brushing his teeth. Now his face is more kind of like just average, like, okay. So now he leaves Oscorp and he goes to this store and he picks up this card. And it says happy birthday. It says happy birthday. He picks up the card and he buys it, $1. He buys it. And then he leaves and he goes back to Oscorp and he's sitting there and he sits and he just sits, and we see another montage of the clock going. And now it's past 1 o'clock. It's like 1:30. And Max Dillon's face is now, he's looking kind of annoyed and upset. And he gets up from the seat that's like, it's kind of like a waiting room. He gets up and he goes over to the desk where this lady, and he's like, excuse me, but where's Mr. Minkin at? And she says, oh, he stepped out for lunch. He was like, yeah, he told me he would be back here at 1 o'clock, him and the board members, because I had a presentation for them. And she's like, oh, okay, I'll call him right now. It's like 1:30 now. And she calls him, and she hands him the phone, and he gets the phone. He's like, yes, Mr. Minkin, it's me, Max. You said that we would do the presentation at 1 o'clock. He said, oh, you know what, Max, I'm so sorry. I got kind of held up. Just give me a brief rundown right now. Okay, well, sir, it was about the hydroelectricity plants. I was thinking about how we can conserve energy and also power the entire city with the hydroelectric.
You know, Max, we've already been working on that project for about 3 months now. We're actually building the hydroelectric field near the George Washington Bridge.
He's like, what? And then his face completely changes. His face completely changes. It went from, in the beginning, when we first saw him, he was happy. Then he got saved, and he was like freaking ecstatic. And then with him waiting, his face began to change, you know. And now it's just kind of like a sadness. So he hangs up. He says, okay, Mr. Minkin. He hangs up and goes to his desk, his cubicle. He sits there, and he doesn't understand. Mr. Minkin told him that it's in the final stages, that they've already developed this. It's already in the final stages. And he doesn't understand. And then we look at his work. Again, detailed looks at his work. He's looking at his work, and we see it detailed. We see the hydroelectric plant like stuff. We see all of the work, and he's sitting there, and he doesn't understand. So then the day is over. He goes. It's like nighttime, and he leaves Oscorp. And he goes to his mom's house. And he knocks on his mom's house, her door. It opens. He's like, "Hey, Mom." She's like, "Hey, baby," or whatever. And hugs him, you know. And he sits down. She's like, "So how was your day?" And he was like, "Not that good. Someone apparently stole my work, and I don't understand, because I've been working on this for so long, and someone else stole my work." And she's like, "Oh, that's sad. I'm sorry." He's like, "But I got saved. I almost died. Spider-Man saved me, but someone stole my work, and I couldn't present, so, you know, it's a bummer. It's a drag." She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And she's like, "Yeah, I've been so busy." And she's like, kind of like dressed up. And he's like, "Where are you going?" She's like, "I'm going out. I'm about to have fun. I'm about to go party." He's like, "Oh, okay." And he's looking at her, you know, smiling. She's like, "What's wrong? Do I look good?" He's like, "Yeah, you look good." And he's just looking at her like he wants something, like he's waiting for something. And she's looking at her. She's like, "So, do you want to spend the night?" And he's looking at her. He's like, "No, Mom." And then she's like, "Well, it was nice of you stopping by, but I'm about to go." And he's looking at her. And he doesn't know what to say. And again, we see his face go from smiling to like a almost hurt, you know? Like it's almost hurt. It's hurt. And then he's like, "Well, I guess I'll go." She's like, "All right, you be safe. And get yourself a girl or something." And he looks at her and he's like, "All right, Mom." And he leaves. And he's hurt. And then we see him because he was holding a bag with all of his stuff. And we see like he put his birthday card. And when he opens it up, it's "Happy Birthday, Max." He wrote it himself. And he looks at it. It's like, "Happy birthday, Max." And he walks and he drops it. And he kind of tears up a little bit. Then we see him walking. And the camera's back and he's just walking home. Now we cut to Peter Parker. Peter Parker, he meets Gwen. She's like, "You're late," and he says that he goes to do the thing that was on the in the trailer. "Did you being late have to do it? You getting shot at by machine guns?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Peter. I really worry about you. But this guy today, he told me that you saved his life." And he's like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." He's kind of an awkward fellow. Yeah. He's like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And then they're happy and they're talking and all that, and they're just happy. They're in love, and it's so cute. And they're on a date and laughing and having so much freaking fun. It's great. It's great. It's such a happy moment compared to what we just saw with Max Dillon. It's so happy. It's a happy moment. She's talking about how she wants to go to Oxford, and he's like, "You should go." And she's like, "But I don't want to be that far away from you because they're so in love. It's so cute. I don't want to be that far away from you, Peter." And then he's like, "Oh, it's all right. It's all right. You know, I want you to be happy. And if you want to go to Oxford, you can go to Oxford and everything." And she's like, "You know what? Thank you. Thank you." And then she's talking about how she may be able to go on a trip to see the campus and visit the campus and stuff. Like I said, they're in college. And see the campus and visit the campus and all that. And he's like, you do it. You should do it. And she's like, Seems like a good idea. I will. And then we have them kiss and everything, and she's talking about the program is like in a week or two, and he's all happy, and she's all happy, and it's all lovey-dovey, lovey-dovey, but shovey, my lovey, my lovey, the lovey. And then they kiss at the end of their date, and they go off on their way. And it's like a scene reminiscent of what we just saw with Max Dillon when he was walking. Except for it's not dark, it's kind of lit up and stuff and everything, and yeah. And they walk, and the camera stays back, and they walk. Right? And they walk. And then, next scene is Spider-Man, Peter Parker, going to the Daily Bugle. He's going to the Daily Bugle. And he has some pictures. Now, we didn't see him take any pictures on screen, whatever. But he took pictures. We're just going to assume he took pictures because he has pictures. And he goes up and he walks up there. And we see Betty sitting at the desk looking at him. And she's like, yeah, the boss, he's mad. He said he fired you. He's like, when does he not fire me? She's like, okay. She's like, go on in, Peter. He goes in, and then Jonah Jameson's office is there, and he knocks on the door, and then we see Jonah Jameson. He looks up at Peter, and he's like, what? and Peter's like, can you open the door? Can I come in? And Jonah Jameson looks at him, and he's like, I thought I fired you. He's like, you did, sir? He's like, so what are you doing here? You're fired. That means you don't work here. That means you leave. You're not here. I'm not, no. And he's like, but I got pictures, Mr. Jameson. He's like, and he just looks at him. And it's like a funny moment. It's like, what? And Peter's face is going like, and he just looks at him. He's like, what's wrong? He was like, I said you were fired. I just wanted to, maybe you didn't understand English. Robbie opens the door. He's like, excuse me, Peter. Hi, Peter. Excuse me. Opens the door, goes into Mr. Jameson's office. Yeah, we got pictures from Eddie Brock. The big police chase thing happening with Aleksei Sytsevich, and he is right now in holding and everything, and Spider-Man got him and stuff, and yeah. And Eddie is walking up, and he says, hey, Peter. He was in. He's like, hey, Eddie. He's like, hey, man, what's been going on with you? He's like, nothing. He's like, what? Did you see that police chase? He was like, yeah, I was right there. He was like, really? I didn't see you. I was in a helicopter. He's like, who you were? Yeah, I was there. He's like, I didn't see you. But I saw Spider-Man, though. He was doing some sweet stuff. He was beating somebody. He got those people that was shooting. It was pretty cool. He's like, yeah, well, sure. Yeah, I was there. He's like, oh, okay. And they're kind of having a nice little friendly conversation and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's pretty friendly or whatever. And then we hear, what is this? From like the office. We hear that from the office, and Eddie and Peter both look over, and J. Jonah Jameson, he's holding the picture, and he's looking at Eddie. And he's holding the picture, and the picture is like a picture up ahead of like from overhead of like the truck and Spider-Man on it, and him and like that, and the police behind. And Eddie's like, that's a picture of what happened, sir, yesterday. And J. Jonah Jameson looks at it and he says, you know what it looks like to me? Crap. Kind of like an Easter egg from the first one. And Eddie goes like, and Peter looks at him and he says, you. J. Jonah Jameson says, you, come here, Parker, come here. And Peter walks up, he says, hand me your pictures. And he hands him the pictures, and the pictures look really good. It's like overhead shots, and then shots directly of Aleksei Sytsevich, and directly of Spider-Man, Aleksei Sytsevich, and all that. And he's like, and he looks at it. He's looking at all of them. He's like, and he looks at him, and then he looks at Eddie. So he's like holding him up in the light, and it's like this funny. It's like, what is he doing? And it's like he's holding him up to the light, and he's like inspecting a dollar bill or something. Like, he puts him down, he gets his cigar, and he looks at the both of them. He says, you know what? You both work for me. Okay? You both work for me. And I like these pictures. And they're like looking like he's waiting for him to finish his thought. And they're looking at him. He's like, so what's going, what is it, what, Mr. Jameson? And he's like, I like your pictures. I give you both $20. $20. I take that. I take it. That's a good. What do you think, Robbie? And Robbie says, he doesn't say anything. He steps back. He's like, and Eddie goes, $20, sir? No, no, sir. I'm not getting. No, you're not paying me $20 for this, sir. $20. You don't want it. You say you're too good for $20. You're too good for the Daily Bugle money, huh, Mr. Rock, Mr. Edward? What do you say, Edward? What is it? What is it? He's like Edward Brock Jr., sir. Edward Brock Jr. Okay, you're too good for $20. What about you, Mr. Parker? What about you? Are you too good for $20? Peter says, "Sir, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to be with Eddie on this one. I'm not $20. Not for this." He's like, "Okay. I give you $21." And like Peter almost like just starts laughing, and J. Jonah Jameson's like, "Is this something funny? Is there something funny, Mr. Parker? Something funny?" He's like, "No, not at all, sir, not at all." And Eddie, he like makes kind of a joke in Peter's ear, and like they start kind of snickering. And Miss Jameson's like, "Well, this isn't high school, boys. This is a real working business where business takes place. Okay, you guys want me to put this picture in my paper? $21, huh? You can go and you can get yourself a nice melon, and then you can get another melon. Then you can get, and it's just hilarity. It's just like, what? And then like Eddie and Peter are just looking at him like, what? Because they were just laughing, and they're just now looking at him like, and Robbie is like, come on, sir, you got to give him something more. He's like, and he looks at Robbie, he looks at them, he looks at the pictures, and he looks at them, and he looks at the pictures. He's like, okay. $22. Then Eddie is like, 100. And J. Jonah Jameson, he drops a cigar. He's like, 95. And Eddie is like 98. Then J. Jonah Jameson is like 100. That's it. That's as high as I'm going. He's like, deal. And then Peter and Eddie are walking out, and they're walking, and then Peter's like, so Eddie, you said you fight. I want to see one of your fights one day. It's like, you know what? I'm having a fight tonight. He's like, really? He's like, yeah, you can come on. It's going to be like around like 9 o'clock or something. He's like, yeah, that'd be sweet, man. That'd be awesome. Yeah. And that will end this part of my video, this part of my story, this part of my story. Let me know what you guys think in this comment section below. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will say peace out.